I visited Said's birthplace in the Talbia district of West Jerusalem. Though many people knew that Said had been born in this area, everyone was extremely vague about exactly where. The Said family last lived here in 1948. In the years since then, street names and addresses had changed entirely, and it took several hours to find the house. When I finally located the house, it was in an exclusive residential district, facing a well-maintained park. It was vacant and on the market for sale.
Our family home was in Talbia, a part of West Jerusalem that was sparsely inhabited, but had been built and lived in exclusively by Palestinian Christians like us. There was no neighborhood to speak of, although we knew everyone else in the as yet not clearly defined district. It was a place I took for granted, the country I was from, where family and friends existed, it seems so retrospectively, with unreflecting ease.
I went to America when I was 15, in the late summer of 1951, for what seemed to be two reasons. One was that I had, in the spring of 51, had a bad episode in the school I was then going to in Cairo called Victoria College, where I was very rowdy, it being a moment of great tension between the teachers, who were all English, and the student body, which is all not English. And I was caught being rowdy at one point, put outside the door of the classroom and seen by the headmaster, who the next morning gave us math. He taught math. And it was a 2-hour math class called additional math. It was trigonometry, I think. And so we were about to take a break between the first and the second period, and he said, "Said," he said, "I saw you outside yesterday. What were you doing outside the door?" I said, "Well, Mr. Lowe, the English teacher, had put me out." He said, "Yes, I heard. You were misbehaving again." I said, "Yes." He said, "Well, we can't have any of that here, so go home." I said, "Now, sir?" He said, "Yes, now." So I packed up my bag and I went home. And he asked to see my parents and told them that I was, that he would accept me back, but only after a period of 2-3 weeks of being away. At which point I realized that, and my parents I think realized after speaking to him, that my career in that school, in the English system, was really over. And the other thing was that my father had known somebody at the consulate, the American consulate. I had inherited this American citizenship, which meant absolutely nothing to me, because I never really, I was just an American citizen with no connection to America. And he said that I had to live in America for 21 years, for 5 years before I was 21. And since I was,
in order
50,
to keep the citizenship.
In order to keep it. And that turned out to be much later turned out to be unconstitutional. But anyway, so then they suddenly decided, my parents, that I should be sent away to America. And through a man called John Badeau, who was then the head of the American University, later became ambassador to Egypt under Kennedy. He was quite a good friend of my father's. I didn't much care for him. The school was found, Mount Hermon, and so I was sent there. So I really left with a kind of double load. I mean, there was this American citizenship which I was supposed to be preserving, and the other thing was I was, you know, sort of forced out of what I really, in a sense, had known. I mean, so I went to an entirely new world, and I don't think I ever really recovered from it. It was like the biggest shock of my life at that point, being away and being in America at the same time. And, you know, although I've been there now for over 50 years, you know, I still don't feel I belong there.